Welcome to today's class. Our topic today is contribution of Henry Townsend. Take note, our course today is mac113. The history of the press in Africa, particularly Nigeria, centered on the activities of the colonists. The British contributed extremely to the development of education press in Nigeria. In Badagry, an Anglican priest called Reverend Henry Townsend worked constantly for the establishment of Iwe Irani. Let's look at African press pre-independence era. During this era, the Portuguese and the Spaniards came for the search of treasure. They worked quickly in raising an empire. To be successful for this, the Belgians, the Dutch, the English, the French, and the German went into battle over them raising an empire. After the battle, the situation stabilizes. They separated themselves. The Belgian came to Congo. That is, they colonized Congo, Rwanda, and Burundi. The English came and also colonized Nigeria. That is why we are speaking English language today. The French in Cameroon, Togoland, and the Germans in Tanzania, which are the Tanzanians, also did the same. This occupation eventually led to a racial and political conflict between the indigenous population and the white intruders. Example, the white and Nigeria. Nigeria broke out of the white and they gained independence and they ruled themselves. Out of this conflict, the African nationalism was born, in which we are getting today. The major instrument of African nationalism is the press. The origin and progress determine the nationalism spirit and their commitment to it. The foundation of the nationalist press was a European idea. It was all the European ideas so they can rule. At this point, when the African came to a notice that the Ghanaians in 1857 had one of their African-owned newspaper in Charles Bergman titled the West African Herald, then that was when Nigeria posted their own first newspaper called Iwe Irani in 1859. Let's take a look at the profile of Townsend. Note, the first printing press in Nigeria was installed by the Presbyterian when they arrived at Calabar in 1946. 8 years earlier, Townsend fitted a printing press and launched a printing school in the missionary compound at Abeokuta. Townsend is an Anglican priest who came from England. He was asked to go to Abeokuta by the Calabar Missionary Authority to help with the spiritual need of the Sierra Leonean settlers who were set free from slavery. When he got to Badagry and worked with the Sierra Leonean settler at his headquarters, a place called English Town, there were already 300 CMS people who has known how to read and write at that time. CMSS stand for Church Missionary Society. Establishment of the Iwe Irani. In December 1859, Townsend established a printing press in which Iwe Irani, the first African local newspaper, was produced. The full name of Reverend Townsend newspaper is Iwe Irani Fuanwo Ara Egbatia Yoruba. Translated in English means newspaper in Yoruba for the Egba and Yoruba people. Reverend Townsend stated at the beginning of the newspaper of Iwe Irani, my object is to beget the habit of seeking information by reading newspaper. I have set on foot a Yoruba newspaper. It was also in Reverend Townsend printing press that the first Yoruba Bible was established in 1862. Content, format, and frequency of Iwe Irani. At the comments, Iwe Irani was limited in scope. For example, it carries only religious items. Later, its news coverage includes non-religious items like trade and commerce. Information of arrival and departure of dignitary. It broadened its content by adding
stories about Abeokuta, cotton and cocoa statistics, and so on. That's the content or format of Iwe Irani. From the offset, Iwe Irani was published bi-weekly. It has 8 pages in both Yoruba and English language, and another 4 complementary pages in English. Each page of Iwe Irani was divided into 2 columns measured 6.5 times 8 inches deep. No pictures involved. Iwe Irani did not carry editorial unit until 1862. It lacked typographical pluralism. Items in each column were set to fit, that is, they are brief. It did not carry advertisement until 5 years after its appearance. Iwe Irani lacked graphical harmony and counterpoint balance, but has unity in its earlier copies. Okay. Looking at frequency of Iwe Irani. Iwe Irani was a Yoruba and English newspaper that ran for 8 years from 1859 to 1867 for the Egba people of Abeokuta and the rest of Yoruba land. The paper is also considered the first indigenous language newspaper in West Africa. The paper first hit the street of Abeokuta on December 3, 1859, and was published every 15 days. The circulation of the paper was around 3,000 copies weekly as at that time. In January 1866, it appeared in 2 versions, one in Europe. Due to insufficient technical equipment, the paper was printed in crude technology as of that time. However, the paper was also involved in some political matter of the time, especially those emanating from the viewpoint of the Egba. In 1867, there was an uprising in Abeokuta. It was alleged by the Egba people that the Europeans were helping the Ibadan people to bypass their commercial middlemen. This uprising led to the expulsion of the Europeans from Abeokuta. This uprising is known as Ifo-Ele. Due to this, at that time led to the destruction of the newspaper printing equipment, which grounded its production as Egba rioters razed the premises just 8 years after its establishment. This unfortunate event brought an end to Iwe Irani, the first newspaper in Nigeria. Before it declined, it has already fulfilled its mission to develop the habit of reading in the Abeokuta people, leaving them to yearn for more news. We are going to take the contribution of Iwe Irani. Iwe Irani was a catalyst to the growth of other papers. 2. The paper helped in revitalizing other printing press which were existing. The paper also helped to increase the number of apprentice printers. The paper also inspired the African who later made use of newspaper of the land. The paper introduced the first generation educated African to the reading culture. Iwe Irani plead for moralism and humanism. Let's take a look at readership and price of Iwe Irani. Iwe Irani was said to be hard to read and comprehended. At its first few years of existence, the price of Iwe Irani was about 120 cowries, equivalent to 1 pen.